And anytime when I say we are ready to record, you can press the button, okay? So we are ready in
We're ready.
3 seconds. All right, so good morning. I'm Roy here, the founder of Self-X Analysis, and here with 3 gentlemen, Daniel Schwartz, Ron Kate, and Mr. Subramaniam, nicknamed Money, who are today attending the Self-X Analysis Foundation Training Program on the 5th and 6th of December 2018. Mr. Daniel Schwartz is from the US, but he's lived in Asia. They're joining this meeting from Bangkok, as well as Mr. Ron Kate, who's from England, but he's also in Asia, is joining from Bangkok, and Mr. Money from Chennai, India. And I'm right now, I just came from Bangkok to Calcutta, and this training is taking place from 4 different locations with 4 people. So you're all taking a test, all of you, and as you know the process, I will just brief you on how the Self-X Analysis training is designed and how it works, okay? That's the first brief. So as you can see on the screen, there are 2 parts to the Self-X Analysis system. One is the test, the first test. Of course, there are 4 tests, but the first test is when you take the test and which measures, analyzes, and diagnoses for you, okay? Across 34 attributes and 5 dimensions. Now, once you have got your test report, all of you, and you know in your scores which are the attributes which are working for you, which is basically we call functional, and those attributes which are not working for you, and they're dysfunctional. What basically that means is that the attributes which are not working for you, now you're aware, and through the training, the whole idea is that through the SXA intervention, targeted intervention training, is to help you make those attributes become functional or start working for you, all right? So all in all, in the 34 attributes, those attributes are working for you is great. Which are not working for you, if you can make them work for you, overall your total effectiveness in whatever you're doing, okay, at whatever stage of life you are, okay, it's definitely going to add, not even add, it's actually a leap in productivity and efficiency. So how does the training work? I mean, you've seen the, this is the SXA model, you know, the SXA model is basically, it's a quantitative model, quantitative and qualitative. So there are this 34 attributes, you answer the questions, and you get it, and you get the report with scores, quantitative scores. The second thing is the SXA training, okay? And there are, in the training, there are 3 steps to the training. The first step of the training is what you're doing today, which is called the Foundation Training Program of the SXA. So it has a test 1, which you took T1, then the Foundation Training. At the end of the Foundation Training, you take another test called T2. The difference between T2 and T1 is called Delta 1, meaning which attributes, what happened in the training program? What was the impact of the training program? Ultimately, what we are looking at is you as a participant, you are coming to a training program to improve, okay, your attributes. So we show that quantitatively. So that's why you take 2 tests, and the minus of that is called delta. The second part of the training is called the intermediate, which happens after a 30 days gap. And there also you begin with a test, you know, with the score, and you go into the training for 2 days in intermediate. At the end of intermediate training, you take another test called T3. The idea is that why 3-step training, and the final step of the training is called the advanced training course. That's because any behavioral change does not happen by just one training or one intervention. It is a process, okay? So if somebody thinks that, you know, one trainer, a lot of trainers out there, training out there, one training, and they think, you know, you're going to change your behavior. No, I don't think it happens that way. It has to happen in a systematic, measured manner. As we say in this, you know, slide at the bottom, our whole focus is leading to measurable progress. We measure throughout the training program. At the end of the training program, what happens, okay? So here are the advanced, the foundation, the intermediate, and the advanced course, which I just briefly mentioned, right? So the test and followed by that. This is the entire SXA course map, where you begin with the test T1, and then you have the training TR1, and in between we call the longitudinal contact, because once you take the test and you take the training, and there's a gap of 30 days, but the gap There is a physical gap, but we on our side, we continuously maintain contact with the trainee through an online system, which we call the Longitudinal Contact. We'll send you case studies, okay? We'll ask you to fill in your workbook and so on and so forth. So there's a constant engagement online during that gap between the two trainings. So that the idea is to learn the attributes, understand about the attributes, and then the attributes which are dysfunctional, or let's say when the attributes are functional, how can you make it more functional? Those are the techniques and the tools that you learn in the SXA training. Now, once you've learned the techniques and the tools, you will of course have to go and practice them in your own life, right? In your personal life, in your corporate life, in your business life, in your work life. So we want to handle you through the process and see how you're doing. What is the feedback from the field as you apply those techniques? Whether you're trying to get from employee, I'm looking for the dream job, I'm trying to get a raise, right? Or an entrepreneur, I'm trying to expand my business. So whatever you do, we want to know and help you constantly through a feedback mechanism, which you call the LC, the Longitudinal Contact 1, 2, and 3, okay? At the end of the training program of the advanced, you get what is known as the SXA 360-degree certificate. So this certification applies for the trainee as well as for trainers. We have certified trainers through the SXA system who can then go on and under license from us, go and train more people. That's how we're building the network. Now, in this entire process of the training, we don't give you any handouts, okay? All we give you is known as the SXA Lifebook, which I'm sure all of you three gentlemen must have received a link from me to the SXA Lifebook. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is actually the SXA Lifebook. Is a series, it is designed in tandem with the training program. The slides that will show you in the training program, almost close to 300 slides, okay, over the 2 days, and all 34 attributes, case studies, how do you understand, what are your questions? So the workbook, or the life book as we call it, it is your essential tool where you take notes, okay, where you write your own, and it is connected to us online. So every time you make your notes or inputs in your online live book, we are able to see that, right, at our end, and we can put in our remarks, edit, and work with you. So the training works in this manner, okay? So this is the SXA Lifebook. Now the schedule of the foundation program. This is how it runs. There are 2 days. There's first half and second half of the first day, and the first half and the second half of the second day. In the first half of the first day, which you're going to start now, is basically we will now take you through all the 34 attributes in detail, what each attribute actually means, because that is very essential for you to understand the reference, because only when you've got a proper understanding of each attribute and dimension, you can properly relate and interpret your scores, and therefore understand why something is functional and why something is dysfunctional. Once that understanding sets in, then you're on course to work in the second day, basically, on making some action plans or choosing some of the top attributes that you want to make functional over the next coming weeks and months. So as you can see, the first half will do that. In the second half, we'll continue on the method. And the next day, we do some discussions. We'll have interactive discussions. Okay, this is not a one-way traffic that the trainer speaks and you take notes. No, this is complete interactive. We need to understand what you understood, what are your questions. So we do it in an interactive manner. And in the last half of the second day, we talk about some case studies, how others have used self-analysis. Individuals, okay, entrepreneurs, individuals, students, employees, executives, companies, organizations, how they benefit by utilizing the SXA test and training system for meeting whatever goals of productivity, effectiveness, success, fulfillment they have for themselves. Okay, so that's the basic structure of the foundation training program. So now, as I mentioned about the Delta reports, right? The Delta reports are essential tools that you get, okay? Because that gives you it captures journey that you take through the SXA training program. You start with the test 1 T1, as I said, and you end with the advanced. But everything is captured, your progress, quantitatively. That is done through the Delta report. And then the certification that is awarded at the end of the advanced training program. Now, that was the introduction to the foundation training program today. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer before I start on dimension 1, which is the motivational factors.